The mind is the root of the problems. Understanding the mental process is fundamental, and I will explain it to you. What is the mind? How does it work? And what is it for? You are the friends who are coming here for the first time, right? Okay, dears, welcome. We always give orientations to everyone who comes here. We make a point of knowing if they already have any experience with meditation or self-knowledge, so that we can say something to start the transformation right now. It's not tomorrow. It has to be now. So you can leave here with something to start your inner transformation. Okay? Do you have any experience with meditation?
No.
You don't, right? Self-knowledge?
I am seeking.
You are seeking, okay. The friend said there that they are watching videos on YouTube. I recommend it, because in the video you can see the gestures, hear the tone of voice. You can see their eyes, what you don't see in books. A while ago, when I started my journey, I only had books. But even so, I went deep in self-knowledge, in meditation. Now with communication technology, it's easier, and it's right in the palm of your hand. Okay, dear? Is the friend also in the same situation?
I don't have a meditation practice, and the closest I get to the search for self-knowledge is therapy.
Therapy? Okay, it is an auxiliary practice. Will help immensely. And what made you seek meditation?
Self-knowledge, too.
There is something behind it that is urging the human being to search for something that brings them peace. Then there is no peace. Anxiety?
Yes.
So there is no peace. Anxiety arose, so peace is absent. Some conflicts. Maybe fear? Yes. Anguish? Afflictions?
Yes.
So that's it. There is a lot that I can talk about to you. To the friend too, right? So let's get to the root of the problem, the heart of the matter. The mind is the root of the problems. It's where it all begins. Since you never looked deeply into the cause, you are more in the effect in the symptom. Anxiety is a symptom. It's an effect. It's not in your nature to live with anxiety. It's not in your nature to live in fear. They are feelings that are in deeper layers. Thoughts, on the other hand, exist in more superficial layers. And that's where almost all of your problems originate. The problems that I am speaking of are the ones that cause you agony, pain, and suffering. So, first of all, understanding the mental process is fundamental, and I will explain it to you. What is the mind? How does it work? And what is it for? The mind is a process. It's a function within you. The mind is not you. Is a small fragment of your being. Your being is the totality, and the mind is a process for the world of logic, of mathematics. Since the very beginning, the primitive thing, when physical forms were first created, by the consciousness that manifested itself, the mind already existed in a rustic way. For example, if you are thirsty, then your body will get up and drink water. Okay? That's a thought. When you arrived here at the meditation center, you saw a water fountain outside this room. I'm giving you a basic example. But the point is, the person will say, I am thirsty. I will drink water. This I is a thought. The person is not aware of this, and if you are not aware, this I turns into an ego, into a person. Then a thought arose, I'll drink water. You walk. Then you found a door there, an obstacle. Let's say your mind doesn't know what a doorknob is. It's certain that this knowledge was given to you. You know what a doorknob is, so you turn it to open the door. But what if you didn't have the knowledge of what a doorknob is? All this is knowledge, information, that arrived to you from the external world to the internal world. And these pieces of knowledge are somatizing, You gather knowledge from the world. You go to school, you learn the letters. You learn the numbers. The letters to form words. 2. Create certain rules, conventions. To live socially, you will use the words and the numbers for the movement of time. The humans created the conventions of time, but actually time does not exist. Days, hours, minutes, seconds, this is a mental process. There is only now, the present moment, which is where the being lives. Okay? So this knowledge is reaching you through the process of the mind. And you keep absorbing this. So the first thing, what is the mind? The mind is a function for absorbing knowledge. How does the mind work? The mind functions in a dual form. To say what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Whenever you are in a duality, it is the mind working. When you are in the oneness of being, then you are in harmony with yourself. The mind keeps accumulating knowledge, and its function is the dual process. For example, they tell you to draw a straight line on a blackboard. At some point, the line turns curved. What will the mind say? There is an error there. It is not you as a being who will say it. It is the mind that will say, this should be a straight line. It was the right, but a curve appeared. Then the mind will say, this is wrong. So the mind is a dual process. What is the mind? How does the mind work? And what is it for? The mind is for the world of mathematics, of logic, for you to move in the world. For example, you're going to leave this meditation center. When the satsang ends and you go home, who knows the path from the meditation center to your house? It is the mind. If you say, I know the way, an I has appeared. This I is a thought. This I cannot be misunderstood as a person, a doer. When this is confused, arises what we commonly denominate as the ego. Ego is what you are not. Who knows the way from here to your house is the mind. It's not you. You are the being. You are consciousness. Are you understanding up to here? The friend is understanding, as I can see it in his expression. You look a bit skeptical by the look on your face, aren't you? The other friend is understanding, right? In-person work is good in that sense, because I can speak and see if the person is understanding through their facial expression.
I am confused about consciousness and the mind.
There is a physical body, and there is a mind that thinks. Both have form, they have substance. Who you are has no form or substance. You are the consciousness that has no form. It is formless. Consciousness is the totality. So the body and the mind are contained in consciousness. This is difficult for the mind to understand. How can a physical form be contained within a non-form? But it's the reality. That which is formless arose first, the consciousness. And then consciousness began to create the forms. And the consciousness is also within the physical form. It is in the plants, in animals, in birds, in the air we breathe, in the rocks. Consciousness is everywhere. It is even inside the human physical form. And it is within the human physical form that consciousness has the potential to perceive itself. In the human physical form, you can know that you are consciousness itself. But confusion emerged in human beings because they are identified that they are the mind. Now here comes the explanation of how you are using the mind to create suffering for yourself. The mind is the logical process for technical and academic knowledge. But then you take the words you learned in school, and then you put those words together to form a concept about life. Let's say that you will form a concept of happiness. A concept that you will only be happy when you reach a certain level of material wealth. So in this way, you are being used by the mind. because you cannot create such a concept, because happiness is not outside of you. It is inside. It is already immanent to your being. Then you create another concept. I will have peace and be blissful when I conquer prestige, when I conquer power. It's another idea from thought. Then the mind is using you. Consciousness is absent. Consciousness is totally absent, and here comes the suffering of the human being. They will create this from these old words, from these various concepts, from these various ideas. They create this themselves, and for the most part they mirrored others. From society, from was already established, in the family, with the religious. The whole of society has given you a series of concepts, beliefs, and doctrines about what you need to do to achieve self-realization. Then the desires of human beings emerge, and they are enslaved by desires, because no desire will ever fulfill you. On the contrary, it will leave you enslaved, because desire will lead you away from yourself. You will obtain quick and fleeting pleasure, and soon you will be in pain. And to compensate for the pain, you go back to desire, and you go to pleasure, and you go to pain. It's a vicious circle with no end of human suffering. Then many people come here, and they don't understand why I tell them to abandon all their desires. They are surprised by it, thinking, but how? Am I not allowed to desire having this or having that? Having arises naturally. Being with someone also comes naturally. Doing also comes naturally. For example, you need to do the things of the physical body for your survival. But the point is the being. Being comes first. First, you need to be what? Yourself, in your own essence. But when you add an attribute over your being, you stopped being. I am. If you apply this phrase to yourself, I am, I exist. I am living life moment by moment. There is no concept, no attribute. When you place an attribute upon I am, you stopped being. I am this. I will become that. Then you are in unconsciousness, in ignorance of yourself. Have you understood? This is the process of the mind. This is something that needs to be internalized. One must look inside oneself. There is no formula, handbook, or prescription to give to people. It's the process, and everyone will have their own journey of being, since existence never creates two of the same. It does not repeat. Of all the beings on this planet, none are like you, and there never has been. And the new ones yet to come will be different. Then, our work here, that we are introducing people, is in this direction. Every human being is cared for individually. Every single person will have their own journey. What we are presenting is, you received a knowledge that you can call the ego what you are not. And you are projecting yourself onto the world, wanting to fulfill yourself through it. But what is coming up for you? Anxiety, anguish, fear, frustrations. Recurrently. Because your thoughts are always moving you away from the being, toward the outside. Thoughts are always in the past, or in the future. What is the past? Just a memory. It has already happened. Future is a projection. It's an imagination. Both have no reality. What is the only reality of your life? What you are experiencing in every moment. Here and now. In the present moment, there is no room for desire. There is no room for attachment. There is no room for ambition. You are living real life. But human beings are conditioned, always moving through the mind, through thoughts. So the journey begins with the process of the mind and this false I, ego, that has arisen. with which human beings are identified, and from this false identification with this I, with this thought, feelings arose. Feelings of attachment, of ambition, possessiveness, jealousy, envy. They all come from this I thought, the ego. From that other I thoughts arose. For example, the I as the possessor. You want to relate to someone, you fall in love with someone. And commonly, you will speak in your daily life, in your ordinary life, my wife, my husband. From where is this idea of mine arising? From an I. What I is this? A thought. That's why jealousy arises, possessiveness. On the other hand, there is no problem with this I as a technical, rational thought. But when it takes possession of the other, there will be conflict. Because you are free, and the other is also free. The freedom of being is something natural. It is part of your nature. This is something you cannot give up anywhere in the world. Your freedom of being. Every convention or rule created in the social world is a process of the mind. But you, in relation to existence, are totally free. You cannot be possessed by anyone. Nor can you possess anyone. You are free in the purity of being. Okay? Did you understand? You can ask questions. You can doubt. You can investigate. We are here sharing. We are not dictating norms or rules for anyone. At the first moment, one can expect this. You might think I'm going to give you some idea, some direction, some stimulus, or some motivation for you to move in the world. It's the opposite. It is about removing all conceptual knowledge of life. Meditation, self-knowledge, will not add anything else to you. They will take away all your concepts, your beliefs, your doctrines, your ideologies. It might be useful for the social world, but for your existential world it's not. It's an obstacle. Then there will be a big difficulty when you begin to look more deeply within yourself, to abandon the ideas you have about who you are. All the ones you have are not you. When you came into the world, when you were born, a while later, someone gave you a name, a nationality, a religion, without you asking. They didn't even consult you about it. Now you may be entangled in this, in conflict. This belief is of no use to me. I am going to switch to another one. This doctrine is too strict. I'm going to switch to one that is less so. That ideology is too radical. The other one is less. I'm going to change. Did you change? You haven't changed at all. Because the point is not for you to change from one concept to another. It is to remove them all. Spirituality is a revolutionary process when you go within yourself. A state in which you will empty yourself inwardly. But it's not that you will become empty. It is a state of emptiness. And within this emptiness, existence lies in its purity. What will you find within this state? Love, the compassion, the celebration, the silence, which are already the immanent qualities of being. These qualities are clouded, covered in the dust by the conceptual knowledge of life. Ignorance has arisen, and human beings can no longer see within themselves. My dear friends, self-knowledge is fundamental. It must be included in any journey you take to find inner peace. Meditation techniques are of great help. It is a tool much utilized by the great sages and masters of the East. The techniques will quiet and calm your mind, so that your thoughts pass by more slowly, and in smaller quantities, because these thoughts that are leaping over your being at every moment, they come from knowledge, from the memory you have. And the more knowledge and memory you have, the more these thoughts will be activated within you. But not during the process of emptying the mind. In this process you become more centered in your being, living life moment by moment. All right? Anyone want to ask anything?
You talk a lot about thought, right? That thought ends up being associated with the ego. Okay, but isn't thought itself a necessity for us to function in the world?
Okay, thought is a useful thing. For example, preparing food for the body, attending a class at college, getting in the car and driving. In these cases, thought is a utilitarian thing. Thought becomes destructive when you start creating concepts about life, beliefs, doctrines. Then you will be creating prisons for yourself. Thought also becomes destructive when you create desires for self-fulfillment, ambition, thought that you have control over the other, that you have control over life, that you will make a revolution in society. This is destructive thinking. It is each person individually who needs a revolution. Whoever is trying to revolutionize society is going to fail, because you must see each human being in their uniqueness, in their singularity. So thinking is a utilitarian thing. Osho also says the same thing. When you go deeper into yourself, then you can live without the mind. The mind being merely a utilitarian thing. In this moment, right now, do you need a thought to take you into the past? In this moment, right now, do you need any thought to take you into the future? No. You are here right now. You hearing me, you are listening to me. So, in this moment, thought is not a utilitarian thing. When you identify yourself with thought, and you think you are it, then the ego arises, the I thought. Then you will live in eternal slavery. Thought stops being a utilitarian thing and becomes something that enslaves you. Observe your mind in a dispassionate way, indifferent way. You will use the mind in the same way you drink water from a river. The river is flowing. You arrive and drink the water. The river keeps flowing. You just drank the water that is necessary for the body. You will do the same with the roughly 70,000 thoughts that pass through your mind every day. You will only pick up those thoughts that are utilitarian, and let me tell you, only 1 or 2% is useful. All the other thoughts, you will need to discard. You have a lot of work to do. Watch your thoughts, discard what does not serve you, and abandon this false I, the ego. It requires an effort from the person. Don't think a savior is going to come along and pull you out of this process. The savior of your suffering is yourself. There is no one else. If you don't look within, at this process that has taken place within human beings, you have no way out. You will be eternally enslaved. And as this knowledge keeps growing, the conflicts keep growing as well. It is not only the objective knowledge of life, of the external world, of the things that are utilitarian, subjective knowledge as well, of the conflicts you had with yourself, your frustrations, your unfulfilled desires, your conflicts with other people, the ideas you tried to impose on others and they didn't accept, the ideas people tried to impose on you and you didn't accept, all these conflicts that resulted in frustrations, in fears, in anguish, are in the body. Who is going to stir up these conflicts? The mind. If you are not alert, vigilant, you will live eternally in this process of accumulating knowledge, both of the objective world and the subjective world. And after a while, people start getting irritated. They begin to get distracted. When they are moving into the future, irritability, insomnia. When they move to the past a lot, sadness arises, melancholy, anguish. It is the inner work that must be done. Okay? Meditation will help a lot. At the end of this satsang, we are going to do a meditation technique that you can do at home and begin the process of inner transformation.